Well, today I'm going to review this Fuze case that showed up in the mail today. Really excited about that. It's kind of funny. Oh, I think the iPhone came out in about August, September, and within, of course, everybody had to get on the wait, and I was waiting for mine. And during the time that I was waiting, I wanted to get a case. So Fuze was offering an opportunity to get in on the ground floor of of a new product that they were coming up with. And the Indigo was a company that actually said if you throw a little money at Fuze, 60, 70, 80 bucks, something like that, if they do launch a product, they'll give you a couple of these cases. They're in the business of doing cases. And what makes them unique is Fuze was actually going to build into the case the 3.5 millimeter audio adapter. And of course, as we know, the iPhone 7 didn't come with an audio adapter. It's all that wireless technology, and everything out there has wireless capability, Bluetooth capability, but you also have the option within most of those devices to just use a plug-in headphone jack. So that was a big gamble for Apple. Nonetheless, I'm not weighing in on that. But so Fuse comes out with a case, and it has the audio jack integrated into it. Another thing that's interesting about this product is they maintain it will double the battery life of the phone. So anyway, they contacted me a month or two after I gave them the $69, $79 or something like that, and they asked me what color I wanted for cases, and so I told them, and I clarified it was for an iPhone 7 Plus, and this thing shows up a pretty nice packaging. I noticed it doesn't have a UPC on it. It doesn't have a barcode or a RFID. So anyway, but it's very impressive packaging, peg hook, and it's basically nice rigid cardboard, kind of a jet black, typical of anything that you'd see in a really nice electronics display store. So let's go ahead and open it up, and I'll show you some of the things about it that are pretty neat. One of the things, here's a case that showed up, but pretty clear to easy to understand instructions. Not a lot of lingo in there. Just what you see is what you get. Specifically, pay attention to the removal. And when I say removal, I'm talking about the removal of the outer bezel here. And I jumped the gun on it. You want to remove the bezel by putting a penny or your fingernail or something like that right here. Popping that off, and then you remove your outer bezel to reveal this part here. This is actually a battery. This is a battery. Notice the battery indicator. This is a battery. So what you do is, very simply, you take your iPhone and do not try and fit your iPhone into it this way. And at first, when you get your phone, you'll probably not, and if you didn't know that this, if you're not somebody that reads instructions like me, you'll try and fit your phone in like you would any case and squeeze it in here. It won't go. So what you do is you put your iPhone in here, slide it in, make sure it's seated in really, really nicely, and then put your outer bezel on and clip it into place. Okay, so it clips in nicely. Tighten it down. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to see if this jack actually works, this 3.5 millimeter jack. So let's see if this in fact works. See it right there on the bottom of the phone. So I know that I'll always come back. Come on. Okay. Buttons seem to work pretty good on the outside of the case. You can see these buttons here. They work fine. I would note that is fairly recessed. That component right there is where you would mute your phone. If you're in a meeting, you could reach in there and shut that down. That is recessed in there, pretty deep. So you might use a, you know, pencil or something that you could reach in there. Um, the other thing is, let's go ahead and plug in the mic. Let's put in the headphone jack. Okay. You can't hear this, but I can assure you it is playing out of these headphones. Um, I did see a report online that indicated that somebody was only getting mono out of one of their speakers and on their headphones with this Fuze, and I haven't got that at all. And of course, what I'm doing is I'm ensuring that this headphone jack is really seated in there nice and tight. And one of the considerations that I always wondered is if I knocked my iPhone off and I had the lightning plug in that, would that possibly damage my iPhone and I would have to replace my iPhone just simply because it fell off of a table and it landed on the lightning jack, on the lightning adapter? If it did and it messed up the phone internally, this case is actually, I mean, I don't know if this is going to be accurate or not, but if I would much rather damage a case than damage a phone. So in any event, that's a really important consideration that I've got. Um, so anyway, go ahead and unplug this thing again. Now what we'll do is we'll go over to the back side. This is pretty interesting. You push this button and you'll see it lights up. There's 3 bars. It lights up. If you light it up, it tells you the power, the number of bars on the battery out of 4. If you push it in and hold it for 3 seconds, then it actually starts to charge the battery in the phone. So very interesting case. This is, if this case does everything that it's purported to do, this is going to be a revolutionary device. I wish I had been involved in inventing or having something to do with this case. It's got a really nice kind of a coating on it's a nice coating. It's not slippery, so you can hold on to the case. It seems like it'll hold on pretty nicely. Overall, I am extraordinarily impressed with this product. I would tell you that the reveal on this case, I do have a glass protector on my case, and it appears as though the glass protector the design of this is so slick that just the outside of the bezel comes up a few millimeters past the surface of the iPhone's glass itself, and the iPhone itself is probably recessed under this bezel, but if you have a piece of glass over it, I think the glass is actually higher. So if I were to turn this upside down, it's more than likely resting on my glass rather than the bezel, which if this drops, there's a good chance that the glass is going to hit the ground. And I don't know, you know how they say if you have the glass cover, the glass is what's going to break, as opposed to the iPhone glass. So if that's the case, I suppose you're really probably not out anything. You pay for a new piece of glass, $7-8 for a piece of glass. Whereas if you don't have the glass, then it would land on its bezel, I would presume, and it wouldn't break. But I'm very happy with everything as it is. Maybe a future model might actually have a taller bezel around the outside, so you could incorporate that. And this is fairly on. This is fairly early on in the product development. It's shipped. It's in my hands. I'm using it. I'm just a plain old customer. They didn't expect me to write a review on it. So this is a very early Fuze. I know that I read a report from somebody that might have gotten an extremely early tested one, and they said that they were having problems charging, or maybe adapter didn't work, and it plugged in at mono, and I think I've addressed that. It needs to be firmly put in there, like with any it's any jack. If you don't plug it in all the way, you're not going to get both of your speakers to play appropriately. Um, and So in any event, I'm really impressed with this. For a product to get to this far from an Indigo launch, it says a lot about the company. The engineering and the R&D, the case is fitted nicely. The phone is snug. Um, the gaps between the battery and the lightning, I guess we'll call that the base, and then the bezel. The reveal between the base and the bezel is almost non-existent. It's in this very securely. It's clipped in with lots and lots of little tiny clips all the way around here. Very secure. So the engineering that went into this case, not only for fitment and design, but in technologically, really an interesting device. I expect huge things out of this company. This particular product is going to really revolutionize what we think of cases today. So hats off to Fuze. You guys really hit it out of the park on this one. I hope you hold on to the market share that you're about to have. And if you are one of those people that had the early Fuze, and if you're not happy and you're absolutely sure it wasn't user error, this company is probably going to stand behind their product and make it right. I don't see anybody that has a product that this far along that would allow anything to be out there that would besmirch its reputation about being anything except exceptional quality. So in any event, I wanted it in yellow. I have a tendency to lose my phone. Oh, look at that! I didn't clip it in there, so now I clipped it in. Um, so um, anyway, I think that's about it. I wanted the case in yellow because I lose my phone and everything is black in the house. If you notice that, so if I had it in yellow, I can lay my eyes on it quicker. So hey, Fuze, come out with yellow, will you please? Of course, black is a lot cooler. It looks pretty great, but anyway, very good. Happy with this product. So anyway, I hope that helps everybody.